All these things, I'm a little extra, so I'm always like doing too much. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is keep it simple. It is so easy to lose your focus on what Christmas is about when you've got 17 traditions and you're trying to make them all happen and your kids are running wild. And so boil it down to what you really want them to hear, because it is really easy to get lost in all the fun and excitement of Christmas. And so that's my first thing. And
Sorry, are you redeeming the table in bedtime?
I am.
Okay.
I am. And that was, thank you, because that's where I'm going. You're so helpful. When I find it really much easier to talk to my kids when they're engaged in something like eating, which basically they have to do. So it may work for you to do that every night if you sit around the table every night, or it may be like, hey, Tuesday night, we're going to sit around the table and eat, because that's the only night everyone doesn't have practice, and we're going to sit there and we're going to do something. They have, you can do that with bedtime as well. Whatever works in your family. Think about your children and what engages them. If we rolled any of these up on a train, our 6-year-old grandson Gibson would be so engaged with it. So you have to think about what really engages your child and what will hold their interest. I'm going to start with the littles. This Jesus storybook right here goes with these cards from Crew and Company, and I handed all that out to you so you can look at it. It will have, he is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature, the story and song. So then you look that up here and you read it, and so they go together. It's a nice marriage of those two things. And again, if you don't do 25 days, that's great. First of all, if they're little, they'll never know. So just, fit it in where you can. We always lit the candles, the Advent candles on our table. The candles did not look like that. They were all, wax was running down them, and they were green and red and purple, because we just wanted to make it special. So they knew that this was something special. And always hoping we didn't burn the house down. You could do, if you have younger kids and they like floor puzzles, I've taken this, which you also have in your notes, which is something for each day, a verse, a simple one. If you have young children, they might be able to read this, or you could read it to them. It's very short, and then you could it's a 48-piece puzzle, so do the math, a couple of pieces every day, and you have the scripture already on the back. I put them on the tape. And so that's something really simple that you can do. Another thing is a paper chain, using that same idea. Any paper chain will do, and you can just put those verses on there. And by the way, at Gigi Camp, because we only have Fridays, sometimes I'm taking like 5 of those off, and read the 5th one. So just choosing to do something and staying after it is really important. Another thing are books. I love books, and I love books at bedtime. So that might be something that you utilize. Eventually, we collected more books than there were days. But find some favorites. I put a couple out here. We read An Orange for Frankie because our son-in-law is not born again. And so on Christmas Day, instead of reading the Christmas story, we read this book, which has the Christmas story embedded in it. And so I made them listen to a really long reading before they could open their presents. Something else that we started doing with our grand was this Shepherd on a Search. Like Elf on a Shelf, a lot of you have heard about that, but it's Shepherd on a Search. So we named our shepherd, and we hid him all kinds of places. Nothing elaborate, because I'm not the person that's going to have him like hanging off the side of the toilet or something. I just, we just hid him, and then the kids went to find him. And there's a devotional that goes with it too. So you could actually utilize that with him for every day. There's another book here you could look at. This tree is another way to employ it. And again, using those, you could use any Advent system you wanted. I threw those verses out there for you to use, and they're on your paper. But you could make this. I didn't have the time. And so, but anyway, and then the little felt figures, and you could put them on there, and that's one of the ways that you could, again, just use that for Advent. For your older kids, This is 12 Days of Christmas, and it's on your list too. But again, if you have someone who likes puzzles, this would be great. And it's only 12 days, so you might do it a couple of times over the month of Christmas. And again, using verses to go with it, whatever Advent system you like. True confessions, this is what we used in our family for 30 years. And my 37-year-old daughter, who's friends with Trisha, was like, today, said, Mom, can we get something else? But I love it. So we did that every evening at supper. Another thing that you can do, especially if your kids are a little older, is to use something like these ornaments. And these are the names of Christ. And so there's 24 here. So you could use those, and they have a verse with them. And that would be something you can do. If you have teens, one of the things that I've found, or elementary kids, is teacher paid teacher, or teachers paid teachers. And they have lots of things, but this is a nativity escape room, which has all kinds of puzzles and fun stuff for your teen kids. And I happen to like leader tracks a lot. And so this is an Advent journal that if you have teens, this would be something they could use. And I use it too. And then our church owns the download for this, so anyone in our church can download this and use it. And it's kind of the same idea as this journal, only for your family. And so we have this. If you see anything here that you're interested in, come back and see me, and it could be yours.